Welcome to the Getting Real podcast, where real stories of leadership and career growth come to life through authentic conversations. This season, we're going to be focusing on coaching conversations. I'm your host, Afshin Ismail Way, and in each episode, we dive in to the heart of personal and professional development. This podcast is a safe space for individuals seeking guidance and transformation. To honor their privacy, all conversations are recorded anonymously. Our guests share their challenges and breakthroughs, providing valuable insights that can help you on your own journey. Today's episode features a coaching conversation with a courageous individual who has agreed to let us share their story. Listen in as we explore their unique experience and uncover strategies that might inspire your own path to success. Thank you for joining us. Let's get started. Thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of this experience. I know it takes trust and also a desire for growth and learning. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation between us.
Okay, I really thank you about the opportunity to be in contact with you.
Such a pleasure. So tell me, today we are here, and as we begin, I would love to know what is on your mind. What is the topic of our conversation today?
I'd like to explore my feelings and my thoughts about scarcity. So I'd like to try to reflect and to think in a more positive way. Something like that.
So say a little bit more about your feelings and thoughts to think and feel in a more positive way about what? What is it that you would like to feel more positively about?
Well, I think to attract more customers, more clients in the process of coaching. And of course, I know my capabilities. But of course, there is always the concern about the financial issues, and so that's always comes to after a few months. What happened, and of course we start to think in a negative way, right? Oh, everything is difficult, everything is challenging. So I'd like to think more positively, and I'm sure that it's a moment, it's a temporary phase I'm facing right now, and be confident to what the future can bring to me.
When we complete this conversation, what does success look like? What will a successful end to this conversation look like to you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think just I'm not very very demanding on the result here, because my expectation is not so high in terms of, because I'm really trying to think about reflection. So to think about it, and once I have so what I do expect here today is just about think in a more positive way and bring that in a more clear way, right?
So if I say it correctly, let me know. What you would wish at the end of this conversation is that you feel more positively, and
right.
You also have, I heard the word clear, so more positively and clearly about what specifically?
About what I feel regarding this issue right now, and how I can put in another perspective in a positive way.
And the issue at hand is the financial issues.
Right.
Okay, so I hear you. Thank you so much for sort of clarifying that, because it's always helpful to have the end be very clear in mind. So my expectation is to have more positive and clear, more positivity and clarity about my feelings on the issue of finances as related to my business.
Right.
Amazing. So that's a big ask. And I'm very curious, and I'm excited about it. Let's see how far we get. So this is where we'd like to go, and I'd love that we've set an ambitious goal for ourselves for this conversation. So I'm very curious. Help me know a little bit more about what the current state looks like. How do you feel now?
Well, I feel concerned, of course. Once the pressure about everything happened in of course, my personal family, for example, so reduce all the expenses, and of course, looking forward, I mean, the challenge that I'm facing right now to get more leads.
Yeah.
That's I think I'm really concerned about it right now.
So I think what you're saying is that there's the feelings that you feel, and then there's the things that are also next to that. There's feelings of pressure. There's feelings of constraint. There's the feelings of family and responsibility, I think is what I'm hearing. Correct me if I'm wrong. And on the side of that, right next to that, shoulder to shoulder, is there's the things that you want to do in order to shift that pressure, which is get more clients. Am I right about that? Can you explain that or express that quickly?
Oh yeah, because if I think in a short term, of course, this is concerning about a lot of financial issues, of course. But if I look at a midterm at least, I can see it, that it's just a matter of time, as I had in the past. But it seems that I'm not so confident as I used to be, or other things I face it in the past right now, because of course the time and all the dedication and effort I'm dedicating on getting new leads, and then it takes time. It's the sales cycle is taking a lot of time that I'd like to have, or I expect, right? So sometimes it's a bit of frustrating. So okay, I'm dedicating every single day on getting more leads and go and interviews and getting contacts, and the results so challenging. Yeah.
It sounds like it. Just in the tone of your voice, I get this sense of it's dragging. You feel like you're being dragged through this somehow. This is sort of the sense that I'm getting just hearing the words coming from you. So say a little bit more about this frustration and how that's showing up. What's changed? What's different now? As you said, in the past, you always felt as though there was a possibility. And now something has changed and you have more feelings of frustration. So what's changed?
I think as time goes by, I think the frustration goes higher. And it kind of like you you perceive that it's kind of heavy for now, right? Oh, I have to wake up in the morning, go to get more leads, get prospect, go a lot of operational things on sales.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, my pleasure is to make the process of coaching. So I used to also have some pro bono coaching, but of course that's because I really give me pleasure on that.
Mm-hmm.
But other side, I need to get the financial. So I think it's like a snowball, right? It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And as time goes by, my concern is a little bit more higher.
Yeah. The word time,
Yeah.
it keeps coming up.
Yes.
I've heard it 3 or 4 times.
Right.
And I'm very curious about this word, what it means to you. What is the significance of time in this entire narrative that you're sharing with me?
Yeah. I think after few months with all the dedication and effort, and see other colleagues to have more success on getting new leads, on new customers at least, I think, wow, what am I doing wrong?
Mm-hmm.
What really is lacking, or what I could do better to not only getting more leads, because I think that's not so bad at all, but how I can get to the final phase of this sales cycle and finalize it in a good manner.
In my heart, the word that sat and really took my attention was lacking. What is lacking?
Yeah.
What is the meaning of this word to you?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's what's the negative thoughts that I started to think about. So that's scarcity and all negative things around that, and because time goes by and wow, man, why this is so challenging? Because I think there are a lot of opportunities over there, a lot of opportunities, and that's a fact. But what I could do, or what I'm missing on that, it's during my conversation, I don't pass the confidence or the perspective. What's lacking? So that's my perception about this.
It feels quite personal.
Yeah.
It feels like there's something in me. Am I right about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so as time moves on, the measure for you is if it takes longer, then I'm lacking more. Am I right about that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, I take responsibility for that because, of course, there are a lot of opportunities and a lot of over there. So I try to think what I could do differently, right? And sometimes maybe it's when I go to a meeting, for example, in person or virtual meetings, maybe I think that the feelings of scarcity or negative, I think that best. I think that it's kind of how can I say that in English? It's like transfer the sense of negative the customer. I don't know. Maybe
there's things that we can know and there's things that we can't. But here's my question: what do you know? What do you know for sure?
That's a good question because I really don't know if I had the answers. I will be better, more effective, more productive, and more positive.
So let's explore that a little. One of the things you'd love to achieve is reflection through this experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm really curious, what do you know for sure?
Yeah. Well, I do know for sure that I'm not getting the result I expect, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of getting leads, I think maybe something that I could change is the target. Change the target.
So hold on. That's not the question that I asked you.
Okay.
I didn't say what can you change. I said, what do you know for sure about yourself, about your clients? What do you know for sure? So you've been doing this for a few years now, as I understand it. And I'm sure that you've gathered some wisdoms about what do you know for sure that might be important to this question that we are wrestling with.
Well, I really enjoy the process of coaching, but I really, I don't say great because it's too strong, but I don't like it. The process of sales.
I hate sales. Okay, I love coaching. Yeah. I hate sales. Yeah. What else?
Right. I think that's one side. I always try to avoid that.
Okay. Avoid it. Got it.
Yeah.
What else?
No, I'm doing it right now, but for me, it's like I don't like it. I mean, of course, that's fair for sure. What else? I think there is also a dilemma. I'd say dilemma.
That's a great word.
Regarding mentoring versus coaching. I just lost a very good customer when they prefer mentoring than coaching. Wow, that's really frustrating for me.
I see.
Really frustrating because I could do mentoring. And mentoring, I'm trying to avoid it because it's like my comfort zone in terms of, for example, IT background. I can help people from IT, and this background really helps on mentoring. And right now, I really want to explore the coaching process because I know that the result, but I'm not sure about the customer because if they have the same perception, at least in the beginning. Because at the end, of course, once they started the coaching process,
they'll understand.
Yeah, but I think this is a start for this sales speech, and I think that confusion the customer have. I think that's really challenge, I would say.
Somewhere my intuition is dying to ask you this question. So I'm going to try something. I'm going to ask, when you began 5 years ago, it was all fresh, and there was the excitement, and there was the hope that comes with beginning something new. What was the purpose? What was your reason for it?
Yeah,
what were you hoping to create in the world?
Yeah, good question. I think at the time, I was not sure about what coaching is, or coaching was. And to be honest, I'm not. I was. How can I say that? I have a lot of bias against it.
Bias, yeah.
Bias. Some bias against it. And in the beginning, I started in a business coaching where it's more mentoring or consulting than coaching. So I would say that 70% of my time was my mentoring consulting, and 30% of mentality of the entrepreneurs or business owners.
Right.
And so it was at least a little bit comfort for me on this, on mentoring and kind of consulting, right? So,
what did you love about that? What was it?
I think the transformation of the people.
The transformation of people.
Yeah, I think two things. One is I love challenging, and for me, it's a challenge to make this kind of transformation. After the transformation, it's really a sensation of wow, really like how can I say that? How can customer speech? Yeah, when they accept to record it, I was surprised because of course there are a lot of ego behind it, and then so the sensation of how was possible to help these people to transform their team, transform the company, entire company, really moved, inspired me.
I love that. I love that you said it moved me, it inspired me. I'm going to ask you to go a little bit deeper with me because I saw you light up, and I want to hold that space for a little bit longer. So if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. I want you to think about, rather, I'd like to ask you to close your eyes and reflect on you when you experienced someone else transforming. What did that feel like in you? And whenever you are ready to share that with me, I would love to hear what comes up.
I think one sensation is recognition. Wow. Really, even I know that, that was not, the process was not all by myself. Of course, the customer have to be accountable for that, right? But the sensation of recognition is one, challenging. I surpassed a challenging.
More about the recognition. What do you mean by that? What recognition?
I think in the kind of the sensation of okay, you are doing the right path. By the way, that's the name of my company, Right Path.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Yeah. And also that I think like I think, for example, I always be more, how to say that, fear. I think fear is behind on that because, for example, I always challenge myself to overcome my fear. Like, for example, on roller coaster, I would say. When I was always scared, but now I love it. So this kind of challenge, one that is doubt, because I'm very logical. I'm a very logical mind, and when there is a lot of uncertainty, it's a challenge for me because I don't know the steps, right? And overcome that is really challenging. And when I manage to overcome that, the sensation of recognition, sensation of relief, sensation of okay, I overcome my own fear or my own, I don't know, challenging. So that sensation of wow, I was able to do that even without steps, without logical thinking.
Isn't that interesting that this
Yeah.
comes up in this way, in this angle? So I feel like I have to ask you, what is similar about the situation we are discussing now and the topic that you brought to the table and this piece around challenge and overcoming challenges and getting through uncertainties and recognition? So what does this all mean to each other?
If you're thinking about the sales cycle, it's really challenging. And interesting. Yeah, really challenging. And maybe something that I could put in another perspective, like, okay, that's an obstacle that I have to overcome, and that's really, I could enjoy that.
And after about this.
Yeah, it's like a feeling of, okay, I can do that. It's challenging, and then I can stay on my focus and discipline because that's my strength. Like for example, I'm running for a marathon, preparing for a marathon. I train hard every single day, and the same thing happened on the sales cycle. And even an analogy of this is not in short term. Not short term that I would be able to have achieve a marathon. So I think, because I like, of course, I love to run and everything. So I can put an analogy or something like, okay, I'm preparing in terms of sales cycle, I'm preparing for a marathon. And in a midterm, I will be very successful in that. And that sense of recognition, sense of surpassing or overcoming the challenges, I think that will be very, very helpful and very inspiring.
You are very inspiring as I'm listening to you make these connections, especially the marathon. I didn't know that you were a runner. I'm thinking, wow, that is very inspiring. What a story! What a new story to write.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have to ask you, given that you're a coach and I'm a coach, you said the word perspective, and I really enjoy that because I think perspective is so much fun to play with. And so I'm wondering if we've just opened a new perspective, the marathon perspective, if you don't mind me calling it that.
Right.
You've just explored a new perspective, and I'm very curious, is there maybe a third perspective that you have not had a chance to explore that we can explore as well? I mean, if I were to say, what's another perspective? What would that be for you? What comes up for you?
Oh, I think it brings another perspective in terms of, and put aside a little bit the heavy, I mean, the sensation of this too heavy, too painful. Yeah. And I think putting another perspective, right? Okay, I'm sitting right now to harvest in a midterm. So, because I'm very confident on it's a matter of time, so that brings more patience on the results.
It's an interesting one. I wasn't expecting you to say the word seeding.
Yeah.
It's like the farming perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me a little bit more about the farming perspective, because we've explored the marathon runner perspective. Tell me a little bit more about this farming perspective. What is it giving you? What is available?
Well, it's like more. It's like my mantra.
Oh, is it? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because if I look at my background, I always think about midterm and I always go for it. I challenge myself. I do a lot of training, of course, and always in search of excellence of my job. And that's not different about right now, right? That's why I look for a certification and some of kind of accountability of myself, right? I'm responsible for my results, right?
Yeah.
And talking about that, from the other side, I will always run away from responsibility. Interesting.
What's
Really
interesting about that? Tell me more.
Yeah, because example, in terms of sales, right? I always ask help for other people and always team up with people that really good in sales, for example, because I didn't want the responsibility of sales.
Okay.
So I run away from sales. No, okay. So and it's like I don't know. It's like a I don't want to be the first. It's like okay, I'd like to be the second. Interesting, because to be the first is always give a lot of responsibility, a lot of exposure, and I'm more introverted. Yeah, and that exposure brings some discomfort. I'm very uncomfortable about it. So I think exposure and responsibility is the line, right? I think that looking from the perspectives, I think that exposure and the responsibility.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah, really.
I've really enjoyed getting to know you. You've shared so many different aspects of your personality, and behind every perspective is an aspect of your personality. So I found that super fascinating. If I were to say, looking back on where we began, which was you wanted to feel that you wanted to explore your thoughts and your feelings about attracting clients, and you wanted to have a more clear understanding of your feelings and more positive feelings towards that part of your work. Based on where we are now, how are you feeling?
I think I'm really more clear about it, and that respect that I brought is regarding the exposure and responsibility. Really important.
What's important about this piece to you right now?
Yeah, because it's like when I say that an obstacle that I run away from, and that looking for that in the past, it's always getting my way, right? So
right.
I think, of course, sometimes I will expose, but I think this only on that perspective, a lot of things that get in my way. So right now that this is one thing, and the other one is how can he frame it in the sales cycle, in a positive journey, and like us sitting and looking for the midterm.
So two things have become available to you now. One is you've become clear about an obstacle that you've seen get in your way before, that you suddenly realize is here again. It's that one about taking the responsibility and then getting exposed as a result of that as well. Which is interesting because that's a lot of work that that's a lot of meaningful information that you can work through going forward. And then the second thing that's become available is that reframe that this is like a marathon for you, right? There's a midterm that you're working towards right now, and that's where something is waiting for you that you can be proud of, and also the word that you used, you can recognize as a challenge that you're working through and overcome. Right. Brilliant. So I'm very curious, because we want to be sure that there's an action that you take, something that you do to commit to, and what is next for you? What is the thing that you will do in the next 1 week that will help you take action towards what you've learned about yourself today?
I think I will look deeply on exposure and responsibility, and how can I do it in a different way on my customers' interviews or prospect interviews, to be honest on that, to be authentic, bring it in a positive way so that I can transfer this feeling, the positive feeling to the prospect, and avoiding the negative and scarcity or whatever that probably is around during the meeting. So I press on that.
I'm excited for you, and I am really, really curious as to what your pitch looks like now, after you've had the opportunity to reflect on this, versus what it's going to look like going forward versus what it looks like right now. So I really, I suggest that you rewrite that pitch this week and see how it looks different. And maybe,
absolutely,
and maybe even share it with 2 or 3 other people and say, so what do you think? Does this come from a place which is more authentic, as is the word that you said, less scarce? I would love to see that happen for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Amazing. Any last thoughts as we sort of conclude this conversation that will help it be complete for you?
No, yeah. There's a feeling of liking a sensation of challenging the good. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but challenging. I love challenge. So, and really inspire me to move forward. And okay, I overcome this, and there's a challenge, I inspire myself. That I will put in practice during this week.
I am so excited, and I love that you use the word forward so much, because isn't that what we do as coaches anyway? That's our big thing. We help people move forward. So exactly. I'm so happy to hear that come so spontaneously through this conversation for you, and I'm excited for you and inspired.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Oh, you are so welcome.
Thank you for tuning in to the Getting Real podcast. We hope you found today's coaching conversation as insightful and as inspiring as we did. Remember, every leader's journey is unique, and each step forward is a victory. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, or leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and continue to share these empowering stories. For more resources and information on how you can engage with us, our leadership and coaching services, please visit our website, www.thephoenixcoachingcompany.com. That's www.thephoenixcoachingcompany.com. Until next time, keep striving for excellence and embrace the challenges along the way. You are capable of incredible growth and transformation. Stay strong, stay motivated, and we'll see you in the next episode.